Hi everyone, I hope you're well. This is CoinsKid, just going to dive into Bitcoin, big up the CoinsKid crew. So it's my opinion that we're sort of in these extended cycles here, and I'm seeing a lot of confluence to that and people playing catch up right now, that this is a possibility. But this is definitely something I've been looking at for a very long time. You know it is right now. I don't think you're in a traditional bear market in the sense of you've got this massive 85% drawdown for Bitcoin. And, you know, potentially if we do have one more correction, you know, we've got this sort of last leg up, then a drawdown, that I would say that your correction's in right there, and you've got your 5 waves within leg C of this ABC wave 4 that I'm looking at as well. You know, anticipation of once we bottom out wherever it is, we're going to see a swift recovery into 2023, you know, early 2024 right there, where we do sort of attack the high there and put it in basically potentially an all-time high for Bitcoin. If that is the case, then you know this lengthening cycle that I've been looking at for a very long time, it's playing out, you know, and what we've got is, you know, nothing related to the halvening, because I know people are expecting that the bull run kicks off when the halvening comes in because of the supply shock. Okay, I don't necessarily think it's related to that. You know, I've been looking at this for a very long time. I think that what we've got is peak to peak cycles and no one's looking at it, but it's staring in your face. Okay, so from here we've got the 2 years, we've got the 4 years, and right now, if I'm right, and we come up into 2023 and beyond, you know, into early 24 before the halvening. Okay, before the May 2024 halving, if we see an all-time high before that, then you can say, okay, well, why is everyone looking at the cycles related to the halving before, you know, so the big push basically. So anyway, this is just a theory, absolutely nothing set in stone, but you can see that if this is the peak, and I think that this is the peak, I think that what we're putting is a regular correction here, a lot of confluence in the altcoins, like I said to you, that have come down at that point as well, putting the ABC zigzag that are nearing completion or have already completed. This is the thing I'm trying to find, is the bottom. Okay, the absolute last line in the sand, like I said to you, is this yellow line, because this is impulsive wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and wave 4 cannot retrace any deeper than wave 1. So if we start to see Bitcoin trading below that wave 1 high, which is around about 14k, isn't it, then, you know, that bets off a table, and we are looking at a bear market from this peak. So, you know, and we will have that big drawdown of around about 85%, which could see a sub 10k Bitcoin price tag right there, you know, and then this sort of cycle, you know, is more drawn out and longer. And what we've done here, if you take a look at this, we've got a 2-year peak to peak, 4-year peak to peak, and right now I think that this is lining up perfectly for a 6-year peak to peak. Okay, and that would make sense to me, that we've got that sort of cycle that's playing out, you know. So within here you can see that this, in my opinion, is the peak, and you can see it's actually less than the previous peak. So already, if this is the peak, you know, which I personally think it is, of that impulsive wave, then the cycles are already broken, and people paying attention to the 4-year cycle, you know, it's shy of that particular peak to peak, isn't it? So anyway, it's just a thought experiment. Now, is there any confluence to this? Well, yeah, I've shown you the DXY is playing out perfectly for this scenario. Equally, the Bitcoin dominance is playing out for this scenario as well. And also, we're looking at XRP, which I show you daily. Okay, we've got a massive similarity between the previous cycle, where we've, you know, in the previous cycle we put on wave 1, wave 2, went sideways, big massive wave 3 before the blow off top wave 5. Okay, and right now we're doing exactly the same for XRP. We bottomed out in March 2020, we've come up in a wave 1, and right now we're potentially in a wave 2, which is correcting back down to the March 2020 lows. If it holds and we start to come back up, you're looking at a monster powerful wave 3, which sort of aligns with this. Okay, so let's take a look at the Bitcoin dominance chart right now. So looking at Bitcoin dominance, you can see in this previous bull run we had this big loss of dominance for Bitcoin. Okay, the huge bull run, then we had the correction where Bitcoin claimed some of the dominance back, and then we got that final leg for Bitcoin before, you know, the crypto market's right there, and Bitcoin putting its high, and then the altcoins just absolutely went insane, and I remember it really well. Okay, so that huge bull run right there. But this was the bottom of this is the top of the correction, sorry, in 2018 for the altcoins, and from there you can see we put in a huge bear market for the altcoins. Okay, it took a very long time for them to recover. A lot of them lost 90 something percent, but at this point you can clearly see this is a retracement and a recovery in the Bitcoin dominance chart. So I personally think that what we've got from this point, we've had this huge impulsive move, and right now you can look at this chart and say that this is looking for continuation. So in my opinion, the Bitcoin dominance chart is adding confidence to the fact that we're simply in a correction for the altcoins, okay, before they continue gaining dominance, which is potentially something like that, some kind of leg like that, where they're looking for a continuation. So, you know, if this does start to roll and this does start to come down, you are going to see a massive altcoin run. Okay, whenever it starts, you know, potentially this starts to come up, Bitcoin has another correction or, you know, retracement or whatever. But if this continues with this downtrend and doesn't come up like it did there, then this isn't a bear market, it's a correction, isn't it, you know, for the altcoins in this bull market, because potentially what we have got here is some kind of slowing down before continuation. Now that is not a bear market. You do not see altcoins do that and Bitcoin lose its dominance like that in a bear market. Now a bear market, this is a bear market, okay? From here it retraces and starts to come up. This is a bear market, okay? That's indication of a bear market. Now at the moment that is corrective to me from that low that we put in April last year. So for me there's a lot of confluence here that this has not actually been a bear market for Bitcoin and crypto, and what we're looking at is a slowdown and then another continuation here potentially. Now if we do start to see something like this, the Bitcoin dominance starts to come back up and rises, then you can say, okay, well, we've got a bear market. But a lot of people are saying that the bear market was in November, which is around about there, isn't it? So, you know, potentially Bitcoin starting this sort of bear market right now. We're coming up and gaining all the dominance back, possibly. So if you do start to see this dominance coming back up, you could say, okay, we're getting confirmation of the bear market at that point, okay? But I personally think that what we've been in, and, you know, this is having confluence of the fact, is a correction. So I think that we've come down here, we've lost dominance of Bitcoin, and it's basically gone sideways before continuation, okay? And we've seen the ABC zigzag playing out in altcoins as well. So it's either done or we've got one last leg left for, you know, the crypto markets here, where I do think, you know, potentially, like I said to you, we've got the last leg line in the sand, which is the, you know, the wave one high 2019. The correction could be in. This is what I'm trying to say to you, you know, but if it's not, I do see in the charts, I see one more ramp up towards sort of end of September, mid-October, before we put one last leg in, okay? And I will show you everything I find and see in the charts right there for Bitcoin. But is it a bear market? I don't necessarily think so. I'm not seeing it in the Bitcoin dominance chart at the moment, okay? And equally, if we take a look at the XRP chart right now, so looking at the XRP chart as well, which I've gone through, you know, if you do follow the XRP videos as well, this is at the moment is playing out like the last cycle, like some kind of mid sort of cycle before, you know, correction, before we get the sort of mania phase and the above top phase, which is something I'm anticipating here for the crypto markets and especially XRP, if it holds a normal level of support. So you can see here we've got this impulsive wave, we've got this bear market just there, okay, for XRP. Then we put in a wave one, then we had this ABC wave two, sort of come out of it, went sideways, and then boom, the massive wave three, wave four correction before the blow off mania top phase of that particular cycle there for XRP, before we entered this huge bear market, which is essentially this leg here. Then what we've done, we've ramped out in a wave one, so this is here right now, okay, and then we've come back in this massive wave two, and I still think we're, you know, retracing, trying to find a nominal level of support down to the March 2020 lows right there, just like we did here. But in this correction here, we met the ABC targets, the 1414 fib, we've met this ABC target 1414 fib, so there's a massive chance here that XRP has actually bottomed and it's going to start to ramp up, okay, like it did there. And I'm looking for the break of this resistance on XRP, but I know this is a Bitcoin video, but I'm just trying to find and show you any confluence of the fact that I think that, you know, the cycles that everyone thinks you're in, you're not actually in, and you're actually still in this big bull market, okay, especially for the altcoins, because like I've said to you, you can see how you're almost ready to fall off a cliff. So with that, this is going to pave way to the fact that we are looking at an explosive wave three here for XRP, which is mirroring this cycle, okay. Then we potentially have a slowdown, then another mania sort of phase blow off top right there for XRP, and, you know, and we are in this sort of kind of lengthening, broadening out cycle that's not related to the halvings here for Bitcoin, and we're seeing a lot of confluence in, you know, the other charts. This is what I'm trying to say to you. So it's not hopium, you know, it's technical analysis. It is what it is, and sometimes you have to zoom out to see these things. So it's probabilities, and it's an absolute possibility that, you know, XRP is sort of giving the game away, the DXY is giving the game away, you know, we've got the Bitcoin dominance chart there as well giving the game away, that you're not necessarily in a bear market, you're potentially still in this huge correction that's looking for completion, looking for the end of the correction, because once that comes, you should see a swift recovery here for the crypto markets, okay. So hope you understand that update. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned, and take care everyone. Thank you for support. Bye bye.